Good evening, listeners. I am Sheeba Rakesh, your host for the evening, and in today's edition of the English program, we have with us Professor Roli Mishra. She is a professor from the Department of Economics, University of Lucknow. And not just that, she is an avid yoga practitioner. Today, she will give us some very interesting information about the practice of yoga as it is understood in life. Welcome, Roli ji.
Good evening and thank you.
Now, let me start with the basics, Roli. What is yoga or is it yog? If I may ask you properly, please do let our listeners know what is the correct pronunciation of this word.
The word yog has come from a Sanskrit word yuj, which means to yoke or to unite. So it is yog and not yoga, which is popularly understood in the people's life, or it is spoken by people as yoga, but actually it is yog. It is more than the physical postures. It is a philosophical and spiritual discipline which aims in uniting the mind, body and spirit, and it promotes balance, awareness, self-realization and harmony.
A very beautiful explanation indeed. So, from what we get to understand from your explanation, yoga and life complement each other.
Yes, definitely. If we talk about the 8 limbs of yoga, these are yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. So basically, yoga is a complete journey, and in this process there are 3 stages: intermediate, beginners, intermediate and advanced. So if you want to progress in this journey, then you have to know the journey of your life along with your journey of yoga from the mat, beyond the mat.
That's very interesting. When we talk about beyond the mat and all the 8 limbs of yoga that you have just spoken about, can we please go into little detail so that our listeners get to understand them a little better?
Yes. See, yam is basically, it talks about the non-violence, truthfulness, wise use of energy, non-accumulating what is not essential. In niyam, all the rituals which we follow in our daily routine. Asan is basically, if we say that the body is a temple. So what kind of practice we are doing in that asan and preparing our body for meditation. Next comes the pranayam, which is your breath control. When we say that we are controlling the breath, that means we are concentrating. We are increasing our concentration level. And then there is one point when people say that you have to look inwards to your third eye, to your chakra. So then you become self-aware. Next comes the pratyahar. Pratyahar is when you are withdrawing yourself from the external stimuli and you are looking inside yourself. So it is a journey of self-awareness. Dharana, that is again, you are concentrating on a single point, which is deep into meditation. Then dhyan, again this is a meditative stage that you are preparing your body from asan to dhyan. And the last is the samadhi, which is a state of connecting to the divine and living things. So basically, when we practice yoga, we have to understand that our body has certain limitations. Every body has certain limitations. So we have to reduce our limitations and we have to increase our capacity. So while performing any asan, if your body is not able to perform that asan, one needs to understand that this is a body opening journey and you have to be continuous in this journey.
That's something very beautiful that you have just told our listeners. When you spoke about the 8 limbs of yoga and you're talking about being mindful and practicing mindfulness, with our Honorable Prime Minister and a lot of dignitaries coming together to celebrate, World Yoga Day and everything happening for greater mindfulness with regard to mind and body, people are gravitating towards this practice. However, a lot of people still in this fast-paced life consider yoga as an outdated practice. They would not want to take up bodily postures, or they do not believe in, controlling their breath. They lead reckless lives. In a nutshell, do not consider yoga as something that should be beneficial. Sometimes they even mock people who practice yoga. What would you say to all of such people who do not understand the basic concept of yoga? From what I understand, it brings about quite some patience into your lives. And patience becomes an idea eventually to be ridiculed fueled at by people who are following fast-paced lives?
With my own journey and with my own experience, I would like to state very categorically that people are more into exercise, people are more into strength training, into gymming. That is good. That may be your passion, that may be your choice. But when it comes to yoga, you are basically working on your mind, you are working on your body, and also you are enlightening your soul. This you can only understand once you get into this practice. And let me be also very clear on one point. Yoga does not mean sitting and doing pranayam and breathing. That is not yoga.
Right.
First, you have to put your alignments correct. You have to make your body postures correct. You have to make your body correct in the terms of center of gravity. Because if you miss that center of gravity, you may have imbalance in your walking, you may tumble down, you may get hurt, your knees can get painful, and you may have any body pain because you are moving away from the center of gravity. That is why you are not able to maintain the balance of your body, which in old age usually people they just walk and they just lose their balance and they fell and they hurt themselves. First important thing is that you have to sit in asana, you have to make body alignments correct, you must know that technique, and you must learn with a yoga practitioner, with some yoga guru, and that is what is life Dyad also, that there are two people who are in interaction with each other, they are helping each other. So yoga is a journey when you evolve together, when you grow together, when you understand this practice, and then you are able to reach that state of mind which makes you happy and contented. See, when I said that yoga is beyond mat, it means that once you are practicing that session in 1 hour, it does not mean that any miracle is going to happen.
Right.
You have to take care of your diet. You have to take care of the atmosphere. When you are into the advanced asana practice, from intermediate to advanced, you cannot practice early in the morning, waking up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, because then your body is not prepared to do that kind of asana. So you have to understand the importance of the atmosphere, importance of that ritu which is around you. The advanced asana practice is always done when the sun comes into the picture, when there is a sunlight, because then your body is prepared to perform that kind of asana. So these are small nuances which you need to understand before starting your practice. Otherwise you will be demotivated, you will feel that no, I am not able to perform this particular asana, then how can I enhance myself towards breathing. Also there are different props. If you go into the Iyengar props world, then there are many props to ease out your practice, to help you that you can perform a particular asana. So the focus while doing your practice is that you make your body aligned into an asana, you do that balancing posture. There should be a stability in the body, means stability in your mind. When you are controlling your asana, that means you are controlling your mind. The last important thing which I want to say is that always practice on your own mat, because you are transferring your energy into that mat, and if you are exchanging the mats, your energy is getting transferred. So it is important, stick to your mat and do this practice and come to this beautiful world of yoga, and you will have a different kind of experience and you will love your yoga journey.
Listeners, you're listening to the English program and you are with me, Sheeba Rakesh, in today's edition. And today we have Professor Roli Mishra with us from the Department of Economics, University of Lucknow, who is telling us about the practice of yoga. Now, when it comes to the physical form of yoga, Roli ji, as in postures and maintenance, you just spoke about something very important. Motivation. And that is a big problem. People we see start out very, very enthusiastically. Some of them join classes, come together, and do all sorts of things. But then we all know what happens. What would you say to all of such listeners?
Any practice or any goal which one wants to achieve needs lot of self-discipline. Motivation is there, but then you have to maintain that self-discipline, and then you will be motivated automatically. You don't need extra motivation every day to perform a practice or to do any kind of exercise. Just for me, I'll share my experience. Every day I look myself into mirror and I feel very happy to see myself and I say, see, here you are and you have to be like this. So you have to defy your age if you want to, and for this, yoga is a wonderful instrument which can make you look younger, look beautiful, because yoga is basically focusing on your spine. If you are strengthening your spine, if you are elongating your spine, you are elongating and strengthening your life goals and your life. So that motivation has to be from within. Motivation is never external. It is always internal. So first, see what is your goal. Do you really want to perform a particular asana? If yes, the key is practice, practice, and practice.
So basically, listeners, looking younger than what you are and looking more beautiful by the day is the biggest motivation. It can be the biggest motivation for you, but also the fact that we have to practice more and more to be more mindful and be healthier.
I would like to say one thing, that my motivation is my DP, and which states that I will not age with time, but I will change the way I age.
How beautiful is that? One small question also that comes to my mind is, when we get into the practice of yoga, is it correct that our body starts reject certain kinds of food which can be harmful to it? Because in the normal practice, we are prone to cravings, we are prone to eating junk food, we are prone to eating everything that probably is not very healthy for our body and our systems. But when we start getting into the practice of yoga, the body automatically starts rejecting certain types of food. Is that a truth, or is it a myth?
When you are in the practice of yoga, you will eventually realize that your body will start rejecting the non-essential food items, because your body will become aware of what you are eating, and the craving for certain items will automatically reduce. This is the power and magic of yoga. It is a holistic program. That is why I say that it is on the mat and beyond the mat. So you have to have that kind of a healthy food, so that when you will have healthy food, you will not fall sick. When you will not fall sick, you will not miss your practice. When you will not miss your practice, you will have that kind of a self-discipline. So it's a complete circle. You have to plan your day in such a manner that nothing can stop you from doing your 1 hour of practice. That should be the motivation.
That is loving yourself for 1 hour.
Yes.
Completely. Okay. Now, we talked about the yoga life Dyad Roli, as it is understood spiritually and philosophically, as you told us. Even though I feel that philosophy is life, for those of us who take the phrase yoga life Dyad technically, what would you say? And most importantly, does this yoga life Dyad help the motivation?
Dyadic yoga focuses on the relationship between the two individuals, fostering a sense of connection and shared experience.
Right.
So, as I said, that if you want to practice intermediate to advanced asana, which should be your goal, because beginner yoga is a basic yoga. In that way, you will not be able to understand your body. There will be not body awareness. So, your body opening itself is a journey. For that, you need to have a practitioner. If you have more people around you, they will motivate you. Somebody will be able to perform better, and your yoga practitioner, then you will have a good sharing between those two individuals, and we can have that. Yet it is a collaborative approach and is a dyadic experience.
You joined us today in the studios, Roli Mishra ji, and you gave us such important points about the yoga live dyad. You told our listeners about the positivity of yoga, the benefits it brings into their life if they practice a holistic approach, a mindful approach, and take up yoga in their day-to-day life. Thank you so much. We are grateful for your presence.
Thank you, Sheeba. And I will be very happy if even one person starts practicing their yoga after this program, then your time and my time is actually fruitful.
Surely. Thank you, listeners, for joining us today in this edition of the English program. With this, I say bye-bye for tonight. We'll surely meet you next week. Thank you and namaskar.